morning, and then a cooler week of weather with high temperatures only around 80, mainly dry. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
With 5 area locations, Desco is your go-to resource for electrical supplies. Albemarle, Mooresville, Salisbury, Statesville, and Lexington. No matter where the job takes you, you're sure to be close to a Desco. Shop now at DescoInc.com.
Sit, stay, Zoom. Zoom Room in Huntersville is where tails wag and people learn. We're an all-positive indoor training gym offering classes for every age, healthy preschool, agility, tricks, and more. Visit zoomroom.com/Huntersville and let's train together.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
I want to see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Biz Now, because your business matters.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina, coming to you from our Burner Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Birkdale Village and also in Denver on Highway 16. Go on by there, tell them that Joe sent you, and your first cigar is on me. This is Local Biz Now, where we hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do here at News Talk WSIC. 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone, and this is where your business matters. I have been doing this show for 12 years today. 12 years. And one thing is absolutely true. I don't think I've ever done it on my own. So as you know, we have a co-host every month, and this month it is Danny Decker. Danny is the founder of Spotlight Marketing and Branding, also co-founder of MyMarketer.com. Danny, thank you, my friend, for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Joe, it's great to be here. Especially on a
you got the clapping going on,
right?
Yeah.
Especially on a big day like this, man. I can't believe they've put up with you for 12 years. But congratulations.
Well, you're getting ready to meet the one guy that flew. So no, you're right, and I don't think anybody actually made it 12 years. You understand? Because there's nobody else with us that's been here for 12 years. You understand that? But I will tell you this, Danny, that, thank you so much for doing this, buddy. I really do appreciate it. And it is true that I have had a co-host with me whenever we do this show. We've been doing this show now going on 12 years. We have interviewed over 950 small business owners and community leaders. We have over 750 videos on our YouTube channel. Go by Joe Vagnone Business Broker. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube, and you will see well over 750 shorts and videos, and it's just an exceptional job that they put together. I would love to take credit for it, but as you know, Danny, I had nothing to. It's so good, I had nothing to do with the YouTube channel at all. We are live on the book, live on the tubes, live on the X, and live on the chain. If you don't know Joe Talk, that is live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on X, live on LinkedIn as well. If you want to ask us a question, go to Facebook. Julie is watching Facebook. She's not been with me 12 years, but she has been with me 10 years, and that's because everybody needs a Julie. And so Julie will try and get your questions answered on Facebook, and we'll try and put it live on the air as well. Now, I bring all that up to you because there's no way I would ever do a radio show unless my friend, and I'm gonna call him a friend, whether he will admit it or not. We got him live on the what is that? It's not the Zoom, is it? It's the Xbox.
I think
kind
it's
of
like
thing.
3CX is what you guys use.
3CX. I don't know what that is. It's something fancy. Some of you will remember this name, Mr. Wayne Bidelman. How are you, Wayne? How you doing, buddy? How come Wayne didn't get the clapping? I set all that up, superstar, for the clapping. And you get no clapping going on. There you go.
That sounds a lot better.
Mr. Wayne, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. I'm having a little trouble. The sound is a little bit, what should I say, scratchy when you guys talk. So,
is it?
If you talk a little softer, I think you're blowing through the microphone like you used to do.
That doesn't surprise me. Then okay, that might be it. Can you hear me a little bit better? Is it any better right now?
Well, I can hear you. Sometimes when the volume gets loud, it just kind of goes out. But
okay,
we'll try to keep Joe from getting too excited.
Happy to be here.
That's right. So Wayne, do you know Danny? Do you two know each other at all? I don't know if you two have met or not.
I don't believe so. I've been gone from up there quite a while.
That's right.
So.
That's right. You're gone, but not forgotten, Wayne.
Well, yeah, I know that.
So you have officially.
I've only heard him make one comment, and I already know he's a good co-host because he was ragging on you. That's the only way to get along.
That's pretty much the one job of the co-host at this point.
Pick on Joe.
Got to pick on Joe.
That's right. So,
well, you'll notice there's been no one else other than me that could last more than a month with Joe.
That is correct. That is.
I at least lasted 3 years. I think it was.
That's right. That's right. So
take it anymore.
So let me tell the story how I remember you and I meeting, and you talking me into being on the radio show. So many years ago, I was a small business broker, happy and peaceful on my own, doing my thing, a nice little one-man show. And this most aggravating man who started in the coaching business, he was a big shot insurance man running whole countries' insurance programs, comes to Cornelius and decides he's going to start advising small business people. And this aggravating man must have bothered me 4,000 times by email, 200 times by text. And then one day he come a knocking in my office. Here comes this man, been bothering me, the most persistent, aggravating man I've ever met in my life. And he says, how you doing? He talks real soft, real nice, How you doing? And walks right into the office, sits right down. Joe, we really need to be working together. I think we'd be a good match. But then he goes on telling me how coaches and brokers should work together, blah, 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 blah. Couldn't kick him out of the office because the man just so persistent. You ain't getting rid of the man once he's in there, you understand. Next thing I know, he has convinced me that we need to start doing stuff together. We create coaching programs, group. We called it the Ultimate Small Business Advisory Board, just an exceptional group of people, and we would advise them on a monthly basis. And Wayne set this thing up top-notch, high class, in the Peninsula Club, right? And we had 10 to 15 small business people that just absolutely loved the whole business advisory. And we did that for 2.5 years, Wayne, easy. Maybe 3 years, and I still talk to those small business people. They tell me it's some of the best times they've had at coaching. So when we come back, I'm going to tell you what Wayne then twisted my arm and talked me into doing. So I just told you how Wayne carried me through the coaching. Now I'm going to teach you, when we come back, I'm going to tell you how he carried me through the whole radio situation. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and I am here with the smartest man I know, Mr. Wayne Bidelman. We'll be back in a minute.
We'll return.
Where is Chris? Did I talk to Wayne? Got him? Wayne, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So are you officially retired, or are you still doing any coaching at all?
No, I'm not. I haven't done any coaching since I've been down here, and you can appreciate the fact, I would have had to start marketing all over again. I
Oh, yeah.
didn't have the energy.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of marketing with your co-host there, but believe it or not, I just to keep me busy. I'm working at a local insurance agency down here just to have something to do.
Wayne, you're down in Hilton Head. Is that what I heard?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's
Hilton Head
gotta be,
Island.
that's gotta be
Yeah.
great. When did you move down there?
2017. So it's
Okay.
been 8 years.
I've heard it's a great spot.
Yeah, yeah, I like it a lot. It's interesting to live in a resort area, though. You know, you love the tourists, but then you hate them too. 'Cause, sure makes the traffic bad at the wrong times. You know.
Makes sense.
How's your daughter doing, Wayne?
Well, there's a long story to that, but she just re-entered college up at North Carolina State as a junior to get her electrical engineering degree, and she's 26 now, so she was out for a while, and COVID and money and all that kind of stuff, and she just restarted back into college, starting as a junior. So,
Electrical engineer is what you said.
yeah, that's what she always wanted to be.
Okay.
So electrical engineering. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I remember you told me you shipped her out to a small school in Texas.
Yeah, she hated Texas.
She hated.
She said everybody in Texas doesn't think there's anywhere else. She didn't enjoy that.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, 30 seconds.
It's a good guy. Sean Buck. I actually know him pretty well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's do it, superstar. This is the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. This is Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and I am here with Danny Decker. He is the founder of Spotlight Marketing and Branding, and also the co-founder of mymarketeer.com. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. Danny, thank you for being here, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, Joe, great to be here.
So because it is the 12th year, I got to go through. I got to set Wayne up first before we can get started on the show. Got it?
Yeah.
So,
Finish the story.
So I told you how Wayne twisted my arms and my legs to be a part of his coaching. And Danny, I don't have to tell you, Joe's not a coach. You understand that?
Oh yeah.
I never said I was a coach, right?
I don't think anyone would mistake you for a coach, Joe.
But I got plenty to tell you. And and I can remember the one of many times Wayne was mad at me, right? And he's such a nice guy. You know, I don't think I've ever heard him raise his voice, right? He looks at me and he says, "You know, Joe, you preach, I teach." And he thought he was offending me. And I said, "Yeah, that's right." And Wayne, I hate to tell you, but your insult, I've been using it for years, buddy. So,
Yeah. I'm sure you have.
Wayne would spend hours putting his teaching programs together, and Joe would just get up there and say, "Well, let me tell you what happened to me," right? And honestly, it was a perfect combination because the small business people, they really do want to hear what Wayne says and how to make it happen and the details. And then they really do want to hear Joe's experience, right? And it's the combination of both of them that they find what works for them. And I would always tell them, although Wayne's face would get red and he would hate it, right? I would always say, listen, when Wayne and I disagree, which is about 40% of the time, right? You know what I mean? We agree on about 60%, 40% we would argue. When we disagree, do what Wayne says, right? Right? I mean, I would tell them, now they wouldn't actually follow through with that, but I did try and give Wayne the upper hand when we were having these discussions. So I tell you all that because we went through this coaching for a while. It was very helpful to these small business people, and it was very successful in helping me, Danny, as a small business broker. Because you can imagine when they're ready to sell, they're going to call the preacher, right? You know what I mean? And so for me, Wayne twisting my arms was very successful and very helpful for me in the business brokerage area. Then next thing I know, the most aggravating man that I know comes to me and says, hey, Joe, I've got this opportunity to do a radio show, right? And I want you to do it with me. Now, I've never been on the radio in my life. Matter of fact, I didn't even know the concept that just anybody could be on the radio. I thought you had to be a professional to be on the radio. And so, again, when Wayne never takes credit for this, he keeps saying that I exaggerate this, but it is so true. What Wayne Bidelman did as a coach was push his small business people to do more than they thought they could do. And truly, Wayne would push people and get them into positions and mindsets that allowed them to do something that they would have never considered doing on their own. And that's what happened with the radio show. And Wayne hates it when I say that because he said, no, Joe, it wasn't that way. But honestly, because Wayne was doing it with me, he didn't feel the actual pressure I had to do that, right? In fact, I just sort of came along for the ride. But you couldn't have got me into that studio without somebody being with me. In this case, it was Wayne. And so literally from our first show on a Friday morning, I can remember at the end of the show, I thought, well, that's going to be the last time I ever do that again. Like, I can't imagine them inviting me back.
And here we are, 12 years later.
Here we are, 12 years later. Wayne, is there anything I've just described? Because I know you love to say that I exaggerate, but is there anything I've described that is not completely 100% accurate? And don't say you didn't bother me 400 times when we first met, because I counted.
Well, I would have told it a little different, perhaps. But the results were probably the same. Couple of comments. One, I may be good at some things and bad at others, but one thing I'm pretty good at is recognizing when if I'm going to partner up with somebody, they need to be different than me. And as people can easily tell, we're very much different people. But as you said, that's what made it work. And that's partly why I bugged you. I mean, there are a lot of people you could partner up with. But getting to the start of the radio show, WSIC, I have no idea if they still do anything like this or not, but they used to have a business networking session once a week, I believe. And so I'd volunteer to, give a few tidbits of knowledge from time to time. And so they asked me if I was interested in actually, we didn't actually start Local Biz Now, as I recall. There had been a show, but they had lost the host or something like that. And it was originally set up to give local business owners some exposure, and we continued to to try and do that. But in any event, they needed someone to carry it on. They talked to me, and anybody in their right mind would easily see, Joe, not to blow smoke up your rear, but you're obviously a heck of a lot better on the radio than I am. I can talk too, but energy-wise, there's a reason why you've been doing this for 12 years, and I pooped out after 3. So anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, and really, Wayne, that is precisely the way I see it as well. Hey, Joe, we need to do this together. Because the other thing, Wayne, is you knew Joe could not have done that on his own back then. There's no way Joe could have carried the show. In other words, that all of the actual detail and the process of small business advice, and here's the rub, right? There's a reason he stopped after 3.5 years of doing this. Wayne was the person that found every single guest we had. If there was a fight, it was because Wayne was sick and tired of having to do all the scheduling, and I used to tell him, "Oh, Wayne, it's no big deal. Come on, quit complaining about it. No big deal." And it consumed so much of his time. And it was not till he was gone in Hilton Head, and Julie said to me about a year and a half after he was gone, "Joe, you do realize that this radio show has taken about 30% of my time to put together." And I said, "Julie, I got to tell Wayne I apologize." Because Wayne's been telling me that for years. It's just a lot of time. And so, Wayne, you stopped doing it, not because you didn't enjoy you and I's time on the show. It's because it really consumed a lot of your time. And this is back before podcasts were cool and all that. You know, you had to educate people, make them feel comfortable, and they had to be willing to drive up on a Friday morning to Statesville. It was, when I look back, it was not an easy task, and we had 2 guests per show.
Yep, that's right. That's right. No, it was time consuming, but and yeah, I'd like to think it's easier now just because of technology and other things. I'll say one thing. I sure didn't enjoy getting up at the crack of dawn, driving up to Statesville.
And seeing me early in the morning.
Well, what I love about that story, I mean, power of persistence, right? I mean, Wayne's here with this great idea and this great vision, and Joe's, you got to knock on his door 400 times before he finally says, "All right, I'll do it." And so, how many people today would give up after trying 10 times, and then y'all never would have created this? So great lesson right there.
Well, the other thing about Wayne is that you would not know, and I don't say this in jest. I mean, seriously, you would not know. He is one of the smartest men I've ever met. I mean, he is an actuarium. I didn't even know what that was until he explained it to me, right? And you would not know that about Wayne, right? And so it's not until you get to know him and you actually listen, because, Danny, sometimes I choose not to listen, right? And so when I am forced to listen to Wayne, I realize that this guy's pretty smart. And so I loved being around the smart guy, right?
Yeah.
So I was glad all of his persistence actually paid off. But I'm not sure, Wayne, of all the business brokers, why Joe? Is it just because we live close by each other?
Well, actually, it's a good question. I think, a name that comes to my mind is Sarah Seasholt. I was starting to talk to some people around the Cornelius area there, and your name came up, a few times. And, quite honestly, that's all I remember. And I guess it was the, not knowing all that much about the brokerage business, the concept of being a small business broker, which I would guess is still pretty unique, seemed more synergistic than other types of brokers. So that's all I recall, really. Wasn't anything other than just having picked up your name from a few people that
right.
Seemed to know you and I guess liked you. Or saw a match or something.
Well, and you and I both did a lot of networking. I mean, we weren't afraid to put on a coat, and show up in the evening, afternoon, to morning at an event. And if somebody wanted to put on an event, we would try and stop by and see and be seen. And that's probably is how our circles just sort of interacted. Let's take a break. When we come back, with Wayne's help, Danny, we're going to talk a little bit about modern day marketing.
Let's do it.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. I'm here with the smartest man I know, Mr. Wayne Bidelman. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll be right back. Superstar. Where is Chris? You hung up on him or something, didn't you? You did something to him, didn't you? Be honest. Yeah. Wayne, you're right. Chris is the one who actually started the show, came up with the name which you and I didn't like, local Biz Now. We wanted to change it, and the station said, nah, let's see how you guys do first before we change the show.
And he was a fairly new board operator, too, I think.
That's
at the
right.
Time.
That's
so
right.
You had plenty to get on him about. So,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So it worked out great.
Yeah, well, one thing I know, they clearly didn't want him interviewing small business people. He was not capable or qualified to do that at the time. Of course, nowadays, obviously, Ken is actually the business manager for WCNC.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. It's got to.
Well, I knew he was still in the media business. I didn't know exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, doing very well. Chris and I talk to each other often. He actually helps me with some small business valuations and that sort of stuff. And Chris and I are writing a book on how would Jesus run your business, and so we've been putting that together. So Chris and I, we see a decent amount of each other. So certainly the radio station has introduced some people that otherwise we wouldn't have known. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got his email. I know he was excited about being on the show. So
yeah, I thought so too. So something must have come up.
Superstar did something wrong. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You hung up on him, didn't you?
I'm going to run and get some coffee. I'll be right back.
Take your time. So, Dan, when we come back, let's go ahead and do let's start the whole marketing thing, because I got some questions I want to talk about.
Great. Sounds great.
So I get that from him. He's been on the show a couple of times.
Yeah. He's great. His business, they're out in Boise.
I thought it was Canada.
No, they're in Boise, Idaho.
Okay.
Yep. And I want to say they're up. I mean, they're they passed 10 million revenue quite a while ago. He's a rock star. Sean's a rock star. Yeah. And this is just it. This is what they do. They do newsletters. That's it.
And he's just exceptional at them.
Yeah. They have thousands of clients, and he's got a whole team of content writers and designers, and they have the whole printing press and everything just right in there.
Oh, he prints them also.
Yep. So he's not paying any markup.
Right.
Yep. Real smart. I love Sean.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I invited him. I think he's been on the show twice. The first time, he didn't show up. And so he apologized to me by sending me this really delicious pie. And on the top pie, at the top of it of dough, it said crow or something like that. Or, he was trying to apologize, But that's when I realized that's pretty.
Well, that's the kind of guy he is.
Guy.
Yeah, that's the kind of guy he is.
That's a high-class guy.
Yeah.
So Julie called him back, and said, all right, we'll give you another chance.
Well, that was probably the 8 a.m. show days, right?
That's right.
Which for him is 6 a.m. out there in Idaho.
That's right.
Probably
That's
slept
right.
in.
That's right. So, Julie, we ought to get Sean back on now that it's 4:00 in the afternoon. When the show starts, he'll probably be able to do that. But I love his newsletters. I mean, they're good. They're good information. And obviously, they're custom to me, right? So he knows I'm business related. So stuff he sends me is business related.
Yep. No, it's real good.
Now, Wayne, I don't know if you remember this or not, but I just got this today in the mail. Patterson's Amish Furniture Store, which, by the way, is still in business, just so you know.
Oh, really?
I have not gone by there in a while, but I bet if I went by there, he'd give me another comfortable chair. But Julie, still to this day, I wonder what they did with that chair. I had to go by there and get that chair.
Yeah, they gave it to you.
That's right. But Julie still laughs about the fact that I got a chair and you had to sit in an uncomfortable seat, even to this day.
Yeah, we used to say I sat on a rock and you sat on the chair. So.
Danny, that's an inside joke. They were sponsors, and I went there and they gave me this brand new chair, nice, It only gave me one. I told Wayne he was not allowed to sit in it.
And we were on a low budget in that studio at that time too. So
Well, now
my chair was a little wobbly.
Well, now, Wayne, some things don't change. We're still in a low budget, but I promise you that.
But this chair is comfortable. I'll tell you that.
Right. It is.
I got
You're
a
right.
comfy chair.
You're right. This one is. Yeah. You're listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. I am here with my longtime partner, Wayne Bidelman. He started the show Local Biz Now with me over 12 years ago, and he is now retired. We pulled him out of retirement to do some business coaching. He used to have a segment, Danny, that we called Coach's Corner.
I like it.
So watch out. He's not afraid to give you his opinion. So Wayne, hang on. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing. Please jump in if you've got an opinion on this. Danny Decker is the founder of Spotlight Marketing and Branding, also co-founder of mymarketer.com. Did I get that right? Because I was messing up your name there, buddy.
You got it right. You got it right. It's mymarketer.com.
So let's talk a little bit about mymarketer.com and exactly what it is all about.
Yeah. So the bottom line is this: the average small business owner is wearing 20 different hats every day, right? We're all real busy. We don't have time to do all the things we'd like to do, and marketing is one of those things that gets pushed to the wayside. Right. And so most business owners don't give marketing the time and energy that it deserves. And as you well know, Joe, where that shows up is inconsistent cash flow. Right. If you're not marketing, you're not generating sales opportunities, you put yourself in, just kind of at the mercy of the cash flow roller coaster. And so one of the things I always say is if you want consistent cash flow and consistent growth, you've got to have consistent marketing activity. So mymarketer.com is a solution where we actually provide a dedicated marketing assistant for small business owners, right? So we have clients all over the United States who we place marketing assistants on their team. And these are people who are vetted, trained, highly skilled, great at social media marketing, great at TikTok, great at Facebook ads, email marketing, all the things that business owners don't want to do. We put expert marketers on their team to get it done for them.
So, okay. Now, we've had this conversation. I told you, I used to be the finest marketeer on the planet. I was the man. Now, it wasn't until years later that I realized it was guerrilla marketing that I was doing, right? I didn't even know there was a name for it, right? And, of course, I told you one of my most spectacular marketing advertisements was where you going to go when you want a sloppy Joe. Joe's Place, and I'd put it on a flyer, and I'd slide it underneath the office door, right? And because my restaurants were inside office buildings, right? And that was, packed the place. Absolutely sold out at the Sloppy Joe's. Here's what I'm angry about. I don't believe in today's marketing that same concept works because nowadays the consumer, because you're going to tell me, the consumer wants to know how the Sloppy Joe was made, why Joe decided to go in business and make Sloppy Joes. And I got to have content explaining to them all about this business that I decided to open up and make Sloppy Joes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In other words, there's more energy and effort into the story where years ago I could just simply say, it was a cute little slogan, where you going to go when you want a Sloppy Joe. Now it's got to be cute content. Do you want to correct me on that?
No, I think that's fair. I will also say, Joe, I really do believe in the fundamentals of marketing, and I think that they haven't changed in 50 years. There's 3 things you got to get right. You need to understand your market, right? Who are you selling to? You've got to have a message that's going to be attractive. Sloppy Joes at lunchtime sounds pretty good to me. And then you have to have a media, right? Some form of delivering your message to your market. In your case, you were sliding flyers under the door.
Right.
And
right.
that worked real well for you. And today, a lot of businesses, it's more like Facebook or TikTok or
but Danny, all of those, right? All of those media formats require more effort from me than sliding under the door.
I agree with you about that. I think there's no getting around that.
There's much more effort and skill set. Wayne is laughing because he knows how I write. So Wayne knows if I had to write anything on that flyer other than my name and where you're going to go to get Sloppy Joe, he knows something would have been misspelled and something would have been confused about it. So it does put me at a disadvantage in this modern day marketing because now content requires a skill set.
Here's what I found about most business owners, Joe, and you are a great example of this. Not every business owner wants to write, okay? But most business owners are great communicators in some capacity. Some of them like to write. Some of them like to are graphic designers. A lot of them are great speakers. And Joe, you're one of the, I think that's probably one of the reasons Wayne reached out to you, 12 years ago is because you're such a great communicator over the airwaves, right? So the challenge is just, okay, so how do you capture that, right? If I was coaching you, Joe, I wouldn't say you should be sitting down and writing all this content. I'd say, let's film Joe on the radio, right, and let's turn that into content. And that, not to come back to, toot my own horn here, but that's what my marketer is all about, right? It's let's capture a business owner, whatever framework they're comfortable communicating. Then let's take that content, because they're the genius, they're the visionary,
right?
But let's take that content and turn it into TikToks and YouTube and pretty pictures and all of these things,
right? And so, Wayne, I can remember for years I heard you say people and process and systems were so important for small businesses. They wanted to go straight to marketing, and you wanted to make sure their operations were efficient and productive before you just started marketing. Is that a fair statement on how I saw you approaching your small business coaching?
Yeah, I guess so. Sorry, I was kind of caught up in another thought when you were asking the question, because I'm thinking back. As a business coach, you end up having to be somewhat of a, what's the word, theoretician. In other words, theory, process, mechanics, and something that at least as you start in is, can be the same for everybody, and then you tailor it to the business owner or whoever you're dealing with. And speaking of your note sliding under the door, marketing to me was always my definition, not to jump over Danny here, but of marketing is that you're just trying to get them interested in talking to you. In other words, there's marketing and then there's sales in my book. And you're sliding under the door might still work. If you were still running a restaurant in an office building and you were flipping cards under the doors of other offices in the building, because it might, at least if they want more content, if they want to know what you have, now they can jump online or they can come to you and get more information. And that's all you're after, I think, when you're marketing. You're trying to get them to take that next step with you, trying to get you to take an interest enough so that then you can focus on the sale. Now, I'm not bypassing the mechanics and the contents that you were talking about. I was trying to get back to basics in my own mind as to what it is you're trying to accomplish with marketing. Does that make any sense?
Yep.
I mean, and that lands with me. We've always said the purpose of marketing is to create qualified sales opportunities. And to the point you were making, Joe, you also have to, before you jump into marketing, you got to have a team and a system in place to handle those marketing opportunities. One of the things that we've seen is if a business jumps into marketing before they're ready and they don't have a sales team or a sales process in place, you're actually going to drown them because they're not ready for it.
Right. Okay, so I got a couple of questions for the co-owner. Wait a minute, I only got 30 seconds. Superstar, you're killing me. I'm all excited about getting Danny on a question, but I'm gonna have to get this question answered when we come back from the break. Good question I got for you. Spectacular question, but you don't get it till after the break.
Write it down so you don't forget it, Joe.
This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll be right back.
You're going to give them time to think about the question, or you're going to wait and give it to them after the break? could give it to him now, and he could think about his answer.
Not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Didn't think you would. I just thought I'd bring it up.
I'm not going to do it. Wait, you understand? Wayne loves plenty of time for planning, prepping, organizing. He would sit 45 minutes before the show and write out how all the questions were going to go and the timing of all of that. He'd turn it over to me. He'd say, "Now, what do you think about that?" I'd say, "Okay." And as soon as we went live, I would just ignore every bit of that. And his face would just turn so red. And it was so much fun for me watching him get upset. It probably took him a year to realize that I absolutely was enjoying him getting angry till he stopped getting angry.
Well, we finally got to where we simplified it down to just a few.
That's right.
This, and this. And that didn't work either, by the way.
Well, but what started to work was when you knew you just simply had to step over Joe, right? Like when you wanted to do this, you would say, Joe, I'm going to do this now, right? And so because he was too nice, he was pleasant, waiting for Joe to give him the moment, right? And so if Joe didn't give him the moment, he couldn't do it, right?
Well, I mean, I've done this a few times now. I've learned you got to just jump in.
That's right.
If I got a question, I got to just jump in.
Learned.
That's right.
Yeah.
But once he figured that out, now you understand Wayne's a nice guy. It took him a year, right? Once he figured it out, it was great. And the other thing he figured out was he's not going to offend me, right? So, go ahead and shut Joe down and say you're wrong. And, matter of fact, the owner used to say, that's good radio, right? And when Wayne realized, oh, okay, no one's going to be mad at me if I really tell people what I think of Joe today, it made it a whole lot easier,
Oh, that's great. I'm going to have to go back and listen to some of those. Are they on YouTube?
They're on YouTube.
All right.
There's a whole section of Coach's Corner. Here's what happened. Here's the problem with Wayne. The problem was, 30 seconds and I'm back on. I'm gonna tell this on the air so you get a chance to hear it. It was about the first show to be on Facebook on WSIC.
Oh God.
Okay, superstar, let's do it. This is Local Biz Now, the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone. I'm here with Wayne Bidelman, one of the smartest men I know, and I'm also here with Danny Decker, the founder of MyMarketeer.com. So, Danny, I got some questions for you.
Let's go.
But before I get to the good questions. Before I get to the questions, I want to remind you of how angry I could make Wayne Bidelman get. It was just sheer pleasure for me to I really enjoyed watching this really smart man. And he was so respectful. He wanted to make sure he did not offend me, you understand? And once he realized you really can't defend a guy like Joe, right? It just doesn't happen. He felt comfortable interrupting me, and telling me, no, you're wrong, and Joe, I disagree with you, and that sort of stuff. And to the point where the owner, he felt so bad about it, the owner would say, hey, Wayne, that's just good radio, man. Go ahead and do it.
I love it.
So anyways, Wayne, you are still welcome anytime you want to make fun of the preacher. And I still love you no matter whether you do it or not. Anyway, okay, I got a question for you. Can or should I pay for Facebook ads, or what I used to do years ago, they would call it boosting a post? Should I be doing that kind of stuff still?
All right. So a couple things you need to know. The first thing is Facebook has transitioned to a point where if you are not paying for ads, you are not reaching a large audience, almost guaranteed. Let's say you have 1,000 people that follow your business page. On average, 3% of them are going to see a post that's not boosted or ads, right? So you got 1,000 people, You're like, yeah, I got 1,000 people that are seeing everything I post. No, you got about 30 people that are seeing everything you post.
Got it.
If you really want people to see your stuff, you need to put some money behind it. Now, you can do it in two different ways. Boosting, which is different but similar to actually running ads.
I used to like boosting because once I realized I liked the way a posting looked, because remember, I'm not the one creating the post, right? Back then, Julie was creating those. And so if I saw one that I liked, it would ask me, do you want to boost this? And I'd click, yeah, and I'd spend $5.
Well,
Can I still do that?
You can, but let me tell you how to make boosting really work for you. I'm going to get super tactical for a second.
Oh, we're going to get a secret here.
We're going to get a secret.
Okay.
So anybody listening to this, you can take your email list, right? And Joe, I know you do a lot of email marketing. You got a great email list. You can take your email list. You can load it into the Facebook Ad Manager. And then what Facebook is going to do is go one by one down that list, and they're going to match every email address with a Facebook user. On average, they can do that about 55% of the time. So let's say you got 10,000 people on your email list, Joe. You're probably going to end up with about 5,000 of those people in a bucket that Facebook has identified. And then when you boost your post, you can boost it to those people. Instead of just, 10,000 random strangers on Facebook, you can target the same people that are getting your email communications. And if you have a sales team and your sales team is making calls to those people, it's like now you got what we call cross-channel marketing. Okay, they're getting your emails, they're getting your sales teams are reaching out to them. They're also seeing your content every time they get onto Facebook and Instagram. That's really powerful.
Okay. I got another question for you. You ready? This is good question. Good question here. Should I be paying for the premium LinkedIn extra $99 a month LinkedIn account?
I'll be honest with you. I don't personally use that a whole lot. I know that the people who have the most success are, if you're doing sales outreach through LinkedIn, it's going to give you a lot more data on potential buyers, and it's going to give you unlimited messages and things like that. So, if you're out there and you're a professional salesperson or you manage a sales team and your buyers are on LinkedIn, then probably it's worth paying for 3 months and testing it out.
What about LinkedIn ads? Is that the same as a Facebook ad?
It's the same concept, but LinkedIn ads are about 10 times as expensive. LinkedIn ads are real expensive. I was just having a conversation with my operations manager today. Generally speaking, LinkedIn ads, not the best bang for your buck. A lot of people say, oh, well, I don't want to run ads on Facebook because I'm B2B, so I think I should run my ads on LinkedIn because that's where the professionals hang out. Not true. You can find most people who are active on LinkedIn, they also get on Facebook, right? Nobody goes to bed at night and scrolls their LinkedIn feed. Like, that's boring, right? They get on Facebook, they get on Instagram. The trick is you got to figure out how to target those business owners on Facebook, which you absolutely can do.
Okay. I got another question. These are good questions, aren't they?
They're great questions.
Okay.
Julie must have written them, right?
Wayne, you put him up to that, didn't you? He liked that, Dana. He likes that. Okay.
That's great.
So, that's great. Okay. So I've got a marketing plan. I'm doing my stuff. I got the Julie. I got the B. I got the. I'm doing on the tubes. I did a radio show, right? Can my marketeer evaluate all this and say, okay, here's what we think you should be doing, or you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
In other words, all of us, we're doing something, and we need somebody to tell us whether we're on the right track or not.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say that my marketer is providing, high level strategy, right? We're not a replacement for like a CMO or like a strategic planner, right? What my marketer provides is really great execution. So Joe, I know you already have a great team, because you look great on the socials and all this, and I'm sure Julie's a big part of that. If you didn't, right? That's where my marketer could come in and say, all right, Joe, you're on the radio every week. We've got all this video content. Let's take that. Let's turn it into content that works on TikTok and Facebook and LinkedIn and all that. My marketer is really about execution, right? The way we see it, the business owner has the idea, has the vision.
So I say, here's how I want you to spend your 50 hours.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you don't have ideas, we do give them a playbook, right? So if you come to us and you're like, hey, I know I need marketing help. I don't know where to start. Well, each of the marketing assistants that we provide, they have a playbook. And they're going to say, well, we think we should get some email marketing going and some Facebook marketing going and some ChatGPT marketing going. So we'll give you ideas, but I just don't want to give people the wrong idea. I'm not personally the mastermind behind every one of these campaigns. I don't have enough time in my day to work with every client.
Which was the past company that you had before that. That's right.
Which is why I moved into what we're doing now, because at the end of the day, strategy is great and it's important. But if you don't have execution, the best ideas are just daydreams, right?
That's right.
And so you need execution help. And my marketer is execution help for business owners.
Okay, Wayne, this is a question for the old man. Retired, sitting up in a I'm trying to get his face red, you understand? And so, Christopher, you finally decided to show up. We had been making fun of you all afternoon.
How are you guys?
We're doing good, buddy. So we've only got a couple of minutes, my friend. Thank you for calling in. Wayne and I, we couldn't remember. Were you the host of Local Biz Now? I know you came up with the name Local Biz Now, but you were the host before you tapped Wayne on the shoulder and said, "Will you start being the host for us?" Do we have that correct?
That is correct. I remember doing the name and then hosting it for maybe 4 months or so, and then I had to go back to college. You guys took over, did way better than I could have done at that point with the experience that I had, and you did a great job.
So, can you believe today represents 12 years of Local Biz Now, which makes sense, Wayne, because we got sound effects nowadays, you understand. So it makes sense because this is right around the time to start college again, which is when you had to pack up and go to Liberty University. So, Wayne, it makes sense that around this time would be when we started.
Yep, makes sense.
Is there anything you can remember, Chris, when you tapped the shoulder of Wayne and asked him to put on a show? And did you have any idea who this guy was, Joe Vagnone, that he wanted to come along with him?
I was still getting to know both of you guys, so it was brand new territory, but you both become good friends. Joe and I, obviously you and I and Joe are writing that book together and do a lot of other things. So it worked out really well. It was God's plan.
So, Wayne, you have not seen Chris in about 8-9 years, right?
No, it's been a while. I think we traded a couple of emails, but that's about it.
Yep.
Well, Chris, I know you're busy, buddy. I appreciate you being on the show, my friend, and I just wanted to have you two together. It's not a celebration without me picking on Wayne and poking on Chris. You understand? There's just no way the show can happen without me picking on these two guys.
What Wayne and I would say is the phrase that we stole from you. We need new friends. So you said it first, though.
That's right. That's right. So, Wayne, my friend, thank you, buddy, so much for doing this. I pulled you out of retirement so you can make your brain think just a little bit back during those coaching days, my friend. Thank you so much. None of this literally would be happening if it wasn't for the aggravating, most persistent man I have ever met. Wayne Bidelman pulled me into doing this, buddy. And now 12 years later, you are the guest on the show. It is bizarre that I just said that, don't you think?
You're a glutton for punishment. That's all I can say.
So, Chris, we've only got about a minute left, my friend. Wait a minute, Superstar getting ready to, we've got about a minute. Is there anything you want to say about how this show has progressed? Did you ever think it'd be around 12 years later?
I did not think it would be around 12 years later, but I think that it was really good learning for all of us in different ways, in the ways we needed. I've learned so much about business from you guys just by back when I had to edit the show and we were doing video and whatnot. I learned a lot that way. And the things that I learned from you guys, and just Joe, you don't get too big of a head, you becoming a good mentor for me, etc. You guys learning more about radio. I think it worked out really good for everybody involved. Hopefully the listeners think so too.
So what you guys just heard is from my mentee. So, Chris is my mentee. Thanks, Chris.
I'm going to regret that.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it, buddy. Wayne, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Danny Decker, everybody go to mymarketeer.com. It is an exceptional place to get your marketing done. Danny, thank you, my friend.
Joe, great to be here. Thank you.
You are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll see you next week.